What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the most important NYCFC talk show. You guys are hanging with the Dudes in Blue. It's episode 102. Thank you guys so much for joining us as people start to roll in here. I'm your host, Joe Amato, and alongside me, as always,
Antonino. What is up, dude?
Dude, what's going on?
Just trying to suppress the rage.
Well, this is the time of the week where it's okay to release the rage. And right off the bat, what's going on, Jorge? What's going on, Henry? Hope you guys are all doing well. Make sure to share this. Eric, what's going on? Ronald, what's up? Make sure to share this feed with your friends and let them know that you're hanging with us for this NYCFC group therapy session following the first edition of the Hudson River Derby of 2018. Hi, Steven. Hi, Steven. We got two Stevens back to back here. Andres Los Caballeros en Azul. Hola. Dude, there is no denying what we are going to talk about tonight.
It's just how we're going to do it.
It's just a matter of how. So I'm gonna let you all in and let you know this team has officially made me sick. Physically. I've got a fever. My throat's on fire. I feel like garbage. I didn't work today. And it's because of NYCFC. Because I was okay on Saturday. Yesterday I woke up with a little scratch in my throat. This morning was complete death. Thanks, Patrick. So, yeah, it's a matter of how we're going to do it. I might not get as animated as I normally would because, dude, I legitimately feel like absolute crap.
That's okay. I got you.
That's why Anthony's here. So, if Steven is saying, make my Monday night great again after that horrible match, we're going to try. We're going to try to do this. We're going to try to dissect this. Daniel says, I went to the game with my parents and fiance who are Red Bulls fans. 4 minutes in, I wanted to die in the middle of section 226. You and the squad, my friend. You and the squad. So,
yeah, not good.
Guys, I don't think we're going to follow our typical format for a couple of reasons here because this is kind of like we were talking about before the show started, dude. This is like the Festivus episode where we're here to air our grievances.
Oh, yeah. And we don't have any goals for us to cover or any good play to cover, so we're just going to rant.
That's it. We're just going to rant. So keep the comments coming, guys. Let us know where you're coming from. And, again, share the feed with your friends. It'd be, I'm sure you've got some NYCFC fans that are friends of yours that would love to crap on this team right now. And that's exactly what this is going to be. All right, guys. Dude. The lineup that Patrick put out, nothing can be really said about the lineup. The lineup that was put out was our best lineup, I would say, right?
Yeah, it's fine. I have no qualms with it. Not an issue at all. You see that and you're thinking just like the past couple games. We got a good squad going in and it should be a great game. So it's just Effort was a big one.
Yeah.
Effort was a big one. I'll get into it, all of my issues, but effort for me, first and foremost, is a problem. And this is twice in 3 weeks.
Right. And I think that if this was the first time that the team decided to not show up, I don't want to say it's passable, but this is exactly what happened 2 weeks ago in Portland, except this was technically at home. So, let's say this, dude. Let's just say this. Red Bulls deserve to win that game. Out of the gate, literally from the first minute, because that's when the game was over. They deserve to win. They came out with more intensity. They came out with the high press. Big friggin' surprise, right? And every single player on the Red Bulls squad was down our throats. We couldn't take two touches without one or two Red Bull players being on top of one of our guys, and we just could not break that pressure. It was just impossible.
Yeah, and therein lies big issue number one. This team was not prepared. I don't care what anybody says. This game is as much on Patrick Vieira as it is on the 11 guys on the field. You know how they play. You have video. You can watch. You can see what happens. You know they're going to play like this, and yet you still come out and do the same thing that causes you to lose every single time you lose. It's the same nonsense every time. Now, it's a moment to reflect, and, we have a moment to, recuperate, and no. It's 3 years already. You haven't learned. You've learned nothing. You still have not figured out how to beat the high press. You saw it against New England. You saw it now. You knew it was coming. It's like somebody pointing a gun at you from 2 miles away. You see it, and you're just like, oh,
what's that?
He's got a gun down there. What is that? What's going on down there? What are you? You got to be kidding me. It's absolutely ridiculous how unprepared this team was, starting with the coach and all the players. Just unacceptable. Inexcusable, unacceptable.
No, that's it. The squad just did not show up to play. It's I don't know, dude. This is frightening to me because this is a quote unquote big match. We're now knocked out of first place because Atlanta took away the points again, and here we go. Now what? How do you bounce back? Now you got to go to LA and play away at LAFC. Dude, I'm flabbergasted. First minute goal. Okay, there's plenty of time. 4th minute goal. Oh crap! Right?
Yeah. No, game over.
Let's oh man, I'd love to get to some of the comments here, but so Henry says we need some Ian Joy luck. Yeah, maybe we need something. Jorge says hats off to Bradley Wright Phillips. We have to respect him as a player, an absolute NYCFC killer. He's got now 11 goals against NYCFC, which is dominating, absolutely dominating.
Wow.
Tommy says that Herrera needs to get confident enough to shoot. How funny would it be if Tommy McNamara was the one that commented on that and was like,
well,
I see Tommy and I immediately think Mac.
Listen, Herrera has the confidence to shoot. He needs the skill to put it on goal and not into the keeper.
Or, yeah, either put it on frame or at the keeper.
He puts it right on the plate every single time, or he misses the net. He's had plenty of chances to score this year, which would have helped his team tremendously. He can't do it.
Yeah.
He can't do it, and I'm tired of it.
We're bouncing around a little bit, obviously, because this is going to be that kind of episode, guys. But
we're gonna bounce.
Let's bounce a little bit. Let's talk about the back line here.
What back line?
First of all, let's talk Sean Johnson. I can't give him any more credit or discredit at all. He, unfortunately, the first goal he did save, but wound up, being put right back into play, unfortunatately. Nobody's
there to clean it up.
So defensively, Maxime Chanot made his start for we saw Ibiaga play last week against Dallas. I was actually a little bit concerned about Maxime Chanot when I saw that he was in the starting 11 because coming after that Dallas match, he was gone for personal reasons and we didn't really quite find out why. If anybody knows why, please let us know. But I think Chanot had an absolutely atrocious game. I mean, like single-handedly responsible for at least 2 out of those 4 goals. Just absolutely disgusting.
I just don't know what are you thinking? Like, listen, if your personal matter is still on your mind and weighing on you, totally fine. Stay off the field. Take your time. Take whatever time you need to get to your 100% physical, 100% mental, 100% emotional. Once those 3 things are good, then come back and play. Otherwise, we've got the pieces that are there to help you out. But don't come back and just not have your head in the game, especially in the biggest game of the season by far to this date. It's unacceptable. The header to nobody. What are you doing? You can clearly kick the ball out with your feet. What do you you just stop? It's just I don't understand what was going on. And then the finger pointing and the arm flip.
Dude, the whole first half, man.
This was not a team effort. It was not a team game at all. This was 11 guys on the field, and everybody was pretty much a free-for-all doing what they wanted to do after the first goal was scored.
Javier is asking, does this team lack the passion that the fans have for this rivalry? Love the show. Thanks for joining us, Javier. I don't know. I feel like this is the one.
How do you lack passion?
Dude,
It's
we
your
have
job.
spats with others. We have spats with other teams, right? Like New England's always a weird one for us. Orlando, for some reason, was always a strange team for us to play against. But there's something about this particular opponent that, we're outscored 25-11.
It's a joke.
That's embarrassing.
It's a joke. It's an absolute joke.
I mean, 11 of those goals, dude, they scored our 11 goals in 2 matches against us. I mean, think about it.
Yeah, it's just, you cannot do that. It is not acceptable. Listen, if they would have lost the game 2-1, 3-2, fine. As long as you're not giving away the ball and cheap goals, and if they're scoring off of a deflection,
Dude,
whatever, that's fine.
It
was just
this was not a respectable loss.
Bother to show up. How
Not
do
a
you not
respectable
show
loss.
up for a big game? How do we get more hype for these games than you? It's not. You're getting paid for this. We're paying for it. You get paid for it, and we're showing up, and you're not. It's not fair. It is unbelievably selfish of this team to play the way it does, especially 2 out of the last 3 weeks to have complete duds. There is no excuse for this team. You ever see Juventus play like this?
No.
You ever see top European teams play like this? No.
If they do, they draw.
They 2-1, 1-0, late goal, set piece goal. Yeah, it happens. Losses happen. Losing is okay. It teaches you how to win. It shows you your mistakes and you improve. This team makes mistakes and then continues to make the same mistakes.
Yeah,
every
don't
time
learn.
they lose, say the same stuff every single time.
Yeah, zero learning. We got Jonathan is asking, what's going on, Jonathan? Do you guys think the boys went in too confident? I didn't see a single speck of confidence in any one of our players.
No. Confidence brings about the aggression, the fight, the 1-versus-1 battles, and you start winning, or you're dueling it out and you're equal and both teams are fighting for it. There was nothing. It was flat-footed. There was no start. There was no jump. I don't even know where to point fingers anymore because the coach needs to prepare this team. And the player, even if the coach doesn't, the players need to come and want to play. It didn't look like anybody wanted to play.
No.
And you just came off of a huge win against Dallas. Like, how do you keep your momentum from stopping and starting? It's ridiculous.
Yep. Yeah, this is now the point where it's like we start off strong with our first 6-7 matches, and now we get these fits and starts, and this is not the time to do this, man. Like, these are not the opponents to do this with. I want to put up a photo, dude, because I had a particular issue with this, and let me try to find it here. Is this the one? Yeah, I'm gonna put it up. What the hell happened with Alex Collins' hair?
I don't know. Listen, this team should stop from all hairstyles must remain the same. Whether it's colors, we have issues with people with blonde hair. Shelton and Okoli, Monterita last year with the colors, and all of a sudden he was hurt the whole season. Stop messing with the hair.
Yep. Stop messing with the
leave
hair.
it alone.
Stop messing with New Jerseys. Get it, New Jerseys?
Got
Stop messing with, because Sean Johnson came out with the green kit, the green and
What
white.
the hell was that?
I don't know where that came from. I don't know where that came from. Like, we're trying to find other things to talk about here, obviously, guys, as you can probably tell. Ari is saying our midfield was flat and lost. Ring didn't even bring it. That's scary. This was the game where I thought Alex Ring was going to get that yellow card accumulation.
I would have been fine with it. It would have showed me some type of passion.
Something. Yeah, exactly. Some kind of fire in this squad. But it was lacking on all fronts. It's just, it's scary. Jenny is saying, stop drinking red Gatorade. Sorry?
It's not Red Bull. It's Gatorade.
That's right. Exactly. I'm wearing a blue shirt. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, dude. I don't know where to go from here. I'm trying to figure out, like, what can we take away as a positive? You got David Villa, who was horrendous. Dude, that first ill-fated heel flick led to the first goal within the first minute of the game.
There's no reason to do that. There is no reason. When you do that? When the person who's flanking you has nobody in front of them.
Yeah.
Not when you got 3 players on each player that's on the field. It's absolutely insane. You got, and Alex Ring, kudos to him, and you hope it doesn't start a rift within the team because of the finger pointing and whatnot, but took the balls out of his pocket post game and said, you don't show up at passion, and then you start flick-ons, and then you get a shit performance. Excuse my language, but I'm quoting directly what he said. It took us 102 episodes, and I finally got it out there.
You dropped an S-bomb.
Listen,
if Ian Joy can do it, we can do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And after that disgusting display, that is putting it incredibly lightly.
There's a lot of 4-letter words I could use, but I'm not going to use them because it's not warranted.
Yeah, it's funny, dude. Some of the comments are coming in. Andres and Eric, they're all saying there's 0 positives that came out of this game.
Our best attacking player was Alex Callens. The way he charges people as a center back puts the forwards to shame.
Yep.
David Villa can take people on, fine. Gets double teamed, loses the ball. Birgit, hold up, play good. Eventually, no help, loses the ball. Medina, I have no idea what the hell is going on.
He's non-existent.
Great.
He's non-existent to me, dude.
When it's going good, but the dude doesn't challenge anybody. He can't get past anybody. He can't take people on. His passes don't hit the marks. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And again, you got people up, Birgit, wide open chance in front of the net, and the keeper, stopped it. Yeah? What about Medina? If you don't have a problem with, if you have a problem with Birgit and don't have a problem with Medina's performance on Saturday, I have nothing to tell you. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Wide open header, free header, can't even get it on net.
Nope.
A DP gets that ball at least in the square. Yep. Rectangle. I can't even think of geometry right now. This team has got me so twisted up, and it's just and my positive on this, the biggest positive, these guys right here. These guys. Third rail New Jersey, third rail New York supporters, everybody that was involved and bringing it and showing up at 10 o'clock in the morning and getting it done and just absolutely doing. I have no friends that are cooking Thursday night for this game. That they're prepping stuff.
At least somebody was preparing.
It's sad that the team cannot perform to what the fans are performing at. It's sad. It is unbelievable that I can't fathom as to how nobody else beats us. Yeah. We're a book. We're an open book. There's the game plan right there. You swarm the midfield, you clog up the midfield, and that's how you beat us. You put guys on us, you don't give us a chance to move, game over.
Henry's got an interesting comment. I'm scared we are the 2017 Orlando City. Now that's an interesting comment there, dude, because it's very true. Orlando City started off like fire last year, remember? And then kind of petered out. This is essentially very similar as far as the way that things are going. I hope not.
It's really early, but
dude, it's not that early, dude. We're 10 matches in. We're almost a third of the way through the season here.
And people have games in hand on us. We've played the most games,
and
most people. So
there's a lot of movement in the table that we can be subjected to here.
Right. It's just
I could see
all the thoughts in my head. We've lost games the same way for the last 2 years, and I keep getting fed the same bull crap from Patrick Vieira. We're gonna learn. We're gonna do this. No, you're not. You haven't learned. You've learned nothing. If you've learned, you would have come out with a different formation. Or the players on the field would have played positionally much differently, and you would have been ready for what was going to happen. You were not prepared. I'm sorry, you want to change 10 guys at halftime? Maybe you should take a day off.
Dude, I think, listen, that was really interesting. that Vieira actually said that because, dude, he has been up to this point, dude, his commentary post-match in press conferences has been pretty boilerplate. Like nothing too scathing. Like if
he doesn't give you anything.
However, this is the first time he's really laid into that team, which is really interesting. That this is what it takes. Like, how many more times do we have to lose 4-0, 5-0, 7-0 before you realize that game plan 1 is not the way to go? Is not the way to go.
No, and don't get me wrong, it works when you execute, and all these other factors have to go into place. When those other factors don't line up, you need to have something else to fall back on, and this team has nothing. Nothing. They don't know how to play any other way. We waste time in our own half, and we cannot generate anything. We generated one shot on goal Saturday. One shot. That's pathetic.
Is that all
from a top offense? From a top offense, I haven't seen much. I see no aggression. I see no aside from Villa against Dallas when he scored his 2 goals. That was aggressive. Great. Awesome. It shouldn't take losing to get to that point. It should not take a loss to get there. And you know what? Now, if it's easy to say we're just going to forget this one and move on. No, don't forget this one. Remember this one, because if it happens again, you really need to think about the coaching staff and what's going on with this lineup. Whether it's people being complacent that they have spots. Other people not making it into the 18 that might deserve a shot on top of other people. It's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous that this team cannot play aggressive football.
Yeah, Javier is asking, extreme idea maybe. Does Vieira send a message by benching the 11 starters?
No.
I don't think we're going to see that happen. No. But Eric is asking, do you guys think the result will affect our next performances because of the mentality? This game should take a lot out of them. It should.
Yeah.
And it's going to go one of 2 ways, dude. They're either going to bounce back like the Jekyll and Hyde team that they're starting to realize again that they are, or they're going to remember this and they're going to still be living off of that same mentality that they had from minute 1 in New Jersey when they go to LA.
Yeah,
I don't think there's an in-between here, dude. I think we're either going to see a team that's going to come out blazing or a team that's going to be completely flat again against LA.
My worry right now is that with all the finger pointing and arm flailing and throwing people under the bus and subbing off the captain and not shaking his hand for an abysmal effort, you hope that this team can actually come together and work as a unit. Because if this game starts a rift between the starting lineup, we're going to have major, major, major problems. And that's not going to be seen until we play on Saturday night. Or is it Sunday night? Saturday night?
I don't even, at this point, I don't even know.
That's my main concern right now. My concern is that this team could. It's a game where we haven't seen this happen before. We saw the 7-0, but that team was kind of still learning. That team was still kind of fresh. Now these guys have kind of been together, and we know what was coming, and it still happened.
Well, we know it's capable from this squad. Like, right? We've seen, 7, 8, 9 matches of this squad playing particularly well, maybe with the exception of 1 or 2, and then they come out and just completely fall flat. So it's, you don't know what you're going to get game in, game out. And that's frustrating. When you look at identity, what identity do we really have? Yes, we play out of the back, right? But when you look at a team like the Red Bulls, their identity is we're going to come at you as hard as we possibly can. We're going to press you as hard as we can for you to turn over the ball. We're going to clog up your midfield. We're going to make it so passing is nearly impossible.
They're going to score 2 goals.
We're energetic.
Yeah. That's
their identity. What is our identity?
We play out of the back. We love wasting time, and it's anybody's guess at what team you're going to see when they come out on the field. I just don't know. This team has so many deficiencies that are masked by good goals and bright moments that it's just sometimes it's swept under the rug, and it's
no, that's got to stop, dude.
Because
that's got to stop.
No. Look at last season. Last season there were so many games where they won, and it was like, yeah, they won, 2-1 or 2-0, but the game could have been 5-0 before that even happened.
Yeah.
It's sad, and it needs to be addressed, and things need to be figured out and worked on. And everybody this team has to come together and fight as one. And I need to see the intensity the Red Bulls put with the high press. I need to see that intensity on offense from everybody. I need to see Alex Callens running at people from everybody else on the field except for Alex Callens. I need to see other people doing that. I need to see Medina putting in the work. I need to see Burgett putting in the work.
I need to see Medina be DP quality.
Yeah.
Because he's not there. Dude.
This is great. The goals are good, but listen.
Very Kyrie Shelton-esque.
Yeah, so far.
Very Kyrie Shelton-esque.
Listen, you'll get these fans that love this guy because of X, Y, and Z and don't like this guy because of X, Y, and Z. Call a spade a spade. Right now, games like that, not DP quality.
No, absolutely not. Tommy is agreeing, saying Medina has to step up his game. Eric is saying Lewis is greater than Medina. I don't know. I think at this point, the Jonathan Lewis card, we got to just kind of forget about that. This is the 2018 version of Mixed Discarud right here. Andres is asking, where's Jonathan Lewis? I mean, listen, nobody really knows. I think he's been kind of on the outs, apparently showing up late to a team event, and you're blacklisted by Patrick Vieira for the rest of the season. That's the rumor, but not really sure. I want to try to get to some comments here, dude, because, man, they've been rolling in like crazy, and we really do appreciate it, guys. Keep the comments coming. We want to know what your thoughts are. We're talking a little bit about the team's identity. Andre says, we have no identity, no offensive identity or defensive identity. We really don't. Daniel says, we pass a lot. That's a good observation.
Yeah, but half the time they're meaningless.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Jorge is saying, we needed Tommy to come in.
It would have been nice if you're going to if you're going to make a substitution, why not? I mean, if the guy's going to take a shot from wherever he wants to, so that's always good.
Last time, at one point it definitely worked, right?
Just don't know.
Yeah, dude, and a lot of backwards passing, says Andres. Yeah, it's just
listen, I understand when it works and your opponent cannot play the press because they don't know how. It's not their strength. You can tear people apart. It's great. But from minute one, when you've got three guys breathing down your neck, no matter who you are, you've got to be able to change on the fly. And then people say, oh, yeah, well, the second half, it was much different. It was different because they stopped pressing. They had a 3-goal lead, and they knew they didn't have to play anymore.
Yep. I mean, they stopped playing after the 5th minute. I mean, like, let's be honest here. After that second goal went in, it was like, okay, we're done. Let's hang it up. Let's go back to New York.
It's just I can't. I can't. Through 2 out of the last 3 weeks, you've had total crap games.
Yeah. Eric says we're a one-trick pony, but a team should not be that.
No, you can't. It's impossible to have one move.
Yeah.
It's impossible to have one style of play and not be able to adjust on the fly.
Yep. We see him. We talked about this a little bit last year, dude. Like, Patrick is pretty good about managing game to game, but half to half, or even quarter to quarter, it's just.
It's half to half. Sometimes I've seen this team where you got
a 1-0
adjustments,
game. Dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Halftime was a big adjustment, taking out, putting in Ibiaga and Afori, but didn't really do much. I mean, like, it's just, you added more numbers into the midfield, but the damage was done.
At that point, it's too late because the Red Bulls stop their high press, they drop back, and they clog up their third of the field, and you can't get through. So it's not even a point where they adjusted because it was too late. You have to be able to adjust by what's going on at any given time. You have to be able to flick a switch and say, hey, when the ball comes out or somebody's down on the field, everybody come in, huddle up. This is what we're going to do from now on. You don't have to make a substitution. You just got to positionally put people where they might not be comfortable. But guess what? If you're going to go from the midfield and play wing back, that's where you're going. And we're going to drop and play 3 in the back and move somebody up and hope for the best that way. But he can't do that. It's just I haven't seen it from him.
Yeah. Tommy is saying Atlanta pressed us like crazy, but we salvaged a point.
But we need to win. You have to be able to win games like that. You have to be able to turn it on.
I feel like that was like one of the grittiest performances from NYCFC against Atlanta, and this is not a team that showed up in Jersey this weekend. It was just not it. Eric is saying Ibiaga will start this weekend, calling it now. I mean, at this point,
it's possible. Listen, anything is possible at this point. But again, you got to figure out what the problem is and get to the root of it. If Maxime Chanot was not mentally fit to play that game, if whatever happened in his personal life was weighing on him, you need to be able to say, listen, sit this one out. Somebody else is going to step up. Don't worry about it.
And it's not like we didn't have that person to step in.
No, we know Ibiaga's good.
He did great last week against Dallas. So I'm like, where's the issue here?
It's just not. It's a selfish thing to do. To play injured, to mentally be out of the game, and then try to interject yourself in there. You can't do it.
No, you cannot. Dude, I know this one's going to be tough.
No, it's not.
What's going on there, John? Just catching up. Good to see you, man. Who is... somebody commented earlier, and if I can find the comment, I'll throw it back up here. Somebody said... I'm going to try to find it. Rod says the entire squad was the dud of the match. Calling it now. Don't wait until the end of the podcast. We agree with you 100% there. I mean, and there was a couple comments too. We haven't really been able to single out a single player that caused this detrimental result here. It was
everyone. Everyone played a part. Everyone did something specifically terribly.
This was a group screw up.
Yeah.
You know, Andres is asking, I hate to even say this, but could Villa be the problem? We were on fire while he was out hurt.
I don't think he's the problem.
We saw some issues, dude. Like, we saw some passes to him that really shouldn't have gone to him and gone a little more direct in this match.
But that's not his fault.
But that's not him.
Not his fault.
Well,
that's
no.
Him.
I don't think...
That's what we said. What we said was that he would have to acclimate himself. He's not calling for the ball. He's not sitting there with his arms in front of him like, I needed this pass. He's not doing that. What's happening is the team is picking up their heads, and instead of finding the best option, they're going for the best player. Sometimes the best player being guarded by 3 people is not your best option. You need to be able to find other people, and they need to be confident with everybody that's on the field, not just David Villa. I don't think he's a problem. You saw it against Dallas. He wasn't a problem.
Right.
He wasn't a problem at all. It's just the fact that he needs to keep his head on straight, take his chances when they're warranted, make his assists, make his passes, stop with the fancy stuff when it's not called for, play by the book, and then when you get space, you can do whatever the hell you want. But until then, play by the book, get your passes in, do what you have to do, and I think the team is going to have a problem if they keep going back to looking at him rather than look at everybody that's available.
Henry is saying we were at our quote-unquote best when Shradi was playing. It's hard to... Dude, I think it's hard to put in a player and think the whole dynamic is going to change.
No, it's not one. It's not
anymore.
One person. It's not a one-person game. It's a team game. Does he bring a different dynamic that allows other people to do certain things? Yes.
Maybe.
But Birgit does the same thing.
Exactly.
Birgit has the hold-up play. He's getting better each game, and he's able to make those dummy runs where it pulls defenders, and all of a sudden everybody else is open. Now, it's just the fact that Shradi's been able to score goals because he's been able to score goals because he's found himself in the right place. So great, that's why you like him and you think he's going to be different. But you know what? Maybe playing him with Villa is different. Maybe the connection's not there. You don't know. So I would like to see him play. I would like to see what happens there. But at the same time, if these guys aren't going to challenge and aren't going to fight for field position and aren't going to fight to get through defenders and help each other out and move as a unit up the field, they're not going to win. They're not going to win. Everybody else will catch up to them. When do you see anybody on our team run like Almiron does.
Yep, dude. It's funny. It's funny you bring up that name, right? Because I want to get onto a little bit of a topic here, while we kind of transition into the due to the match. Spoiler alert, guys. It's 100% not going to be an NYCFC player. Who was your due to the match, guys? Start throwing up the comments. Anthony and I have kind of a toss up between a couple of Red Bulls players in Kaku and Florian Velo. We'll have that conversation in a little bit, but I want to bring up this comment here from Edgar. Edgar says, every great team has a good cam, center attacking midfielder. Lodero, Piatti, Almiron, Valeri. We need one.
It's tough to do that when
not the way we play.
No, it's not. And Maxi's not the answer because he's not that attacking mid. He's that creative mid. So in reality, what you would really want is you want your Alex Ring as your defensive-minded midfielder. You'd have Maxi as your creative-minded midfielder. And then you're going to need Herrera to start scoring goals. Not going to do it. Not going to happen. I'm calling it right now. He's not the answer. He's not the answer. You need somebody that's going to be able to run and create at the top of the box and cause all kinds of havoc and draw defenders away from the forwards, so that way they can get into space and allow Maxi areas to pick these guys out and hit them with passes. I'm confident in Maxi's ability to create. His passing in the final third is very good. He tends to find
the other day though, dude.
He did, and he's had games where he's sucked. Plenty of games. Again, that for me is not DP quality. Is he worth it? I think he's borderline right now. I think he's more of a GAM or TAM player. I don't necessarily see him as a DP. But then again, Medina's not playing like a DP either. Because I would expect him to be a lot more aggressive as a DP, but I just don't see it. I think these guys are complacent that they've got a spot, they've got their money, and they think they're just going to walk over to Europe. They're not. You got to have hard work to get there. So for me, yeah, I think a center attacking mid is really needed this summer. I think you got to bring somebody over that knows what they're doing, that has prowess, that has a little bit of speed, or enough technical ability to get around players and be able to pull.
I don't think Patrick's not going to adjust the way he plays for a cam.
And therein lies the problem.
So, but you know what I mean, though? Like, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. But this is Patrick Vieira we're talking about.
Listen, you have a back line. You have a 4-man back line that is super solid, that very, very seldom starts leaking. They are very good at what they do. Very rarely does Chanel have a game like he did on Saturday. Callens is an Iron Man. The goal off of him was a complete fluke. Did a great job of getting in the way. Unfortunately, sometimes it bounces the wrong way. That's fine. Your backs are pretty solid, even though Tinnerholm had a bad game and Sweat had a really bad game. Honestly, when you have a guy like Ring, you've got 5 in the back there, kind of, that really... Sure. Really are solid enough to where you can play with an offensive-minded midfielder as well as a creative midfielder. Getting the ball up to the forwards is being a problem when you've got 5 guys in the midfield on the other team. It's very difficult. And again, it's okay to play with the 3 you have now against a team that doesn't know how to press or presses in the wrong situations or positionally with the presses in the wrong spot and allows people to get open, which is what we've seen. I think that's what you saw out of Atlanta. You've got a high press, but it's not necessarily the strongest press, and the guys aren't necessarily in the right spots. So then, you can draw them out of position and then you can move forward. But when you got a team like Red Bull that knows what they're doing because that's the way they play the game, you're going to lose. When you play Toronto, you are going to lose. They're going to beat you every single time because they know how.
Sure. Dude, we got some votes for due to the match. We got a couple for Kaku, nothing for Velo, but Tyler Adams is showing up quite a bit.
I'll tell you what, you gotta like this kid. Gotta like this kid, and I'm telling you, he's not going to be here for long.
No.
He's a very, very solid young player, promising for the men's national team. Again, it's so tough on the national team level when these guys are playing all over the world and they can't really get cohesion going. But For me, he was a little more on the quiet side. I think Kaku had a great game and showed you what he can do. What a solid
picked up
player
2
can
assists
do.
and a goal. So,
Is he a DP?
Great question. I do not know.
I think he's their. I think he's one of their DPs. And if he is, that's the way a guy should play.
Yeah. No, for sure.
On a regular basis, not when he wants to, not once every 3 games.
Yeah.
It has to happen on a more consistent basis.
Henry saying Adams made team of the week. Dude, I get you. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. As I told you, I am feeling like absolute garbage here. Are we giving it to Kaku? Do we have to give it to a Red Bull player in the first?
I think we have to be unbiased in our. Listen, we tell it like it is. Nobody sits here and feeds us information and tells us, "Hey, you have to say this or you can't say that." We speak our minds. We trash this team when it's deserved. We praise them when it's deserved. But I think we should show every other team respect, no matter who they are. That if one of their guys is outstanding, he really deserves it, and I got no problem giving it to Kaku. I thought he was really one of those guys that stood out.
Dangerous when he got on the ball.
And we haven't seen him. I don't really watch. I don't watch Red Bull games on a regular basis, so I don't know what he's been doing. I know he just started recently. But if that guy's gonna play like that, he's gonna be a stud.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly, dude. Listen. Let's give it to Kaku. Congratulations to him getting on Dude of the Match for episode 102. Episode 102, Dudes in Blue, Kaku.
Poo-poo.
Something is happening here. Lauren, if you're watching, add Kaku to the list. Congratulations. He sucks. Everybody's crapping on my red Gatorade.
Listen,
I need electrolytes, guys. I'm fighting off a fever. I'm trying to drink the fluids here so I could do this show for you people, and you're trashing my Gatorade. This is misguided anger.
Just chug it and get out. Yeah, really. Don't hate us.
This is misguided anger. Speaking of misguided anger, we have a this will be the last thing too, because I'm sorry, but I do not feel good. I'll get a blue one. Okay, guys, Jesus, I'll get a blue one for the love of God. This is all I had in my fridge because I played soccer this weekend. Lauren says, "Dude of the match, sick Joe Amato." We've never gotten dude of the match.
Props to you. Yeah, we should. We really should.
I think so.
We're dudes of the show.
So we posted a blog post on our website, dudesinblue.com. It was written by Anthony Merced. He's our contributor, our written contributor. He's our beat writer. And the article was basically how, New York is really not blue until New York City FC proves otherwise. Now, it was a pretty damning opinion-based article, right? And I want to call out to maybe some people that were writing in about this particular piece and how this was one game, and I'm talking about fans. I'm talking about other reporters saying this is just one game. You're making this out that you're bandwagoning. It's like I want to call those people out right here for a minute, dude, because that pisses me off a little bit more than the result, because the result was 2 days ago. This was yesterday. We're entitled to have our opinions about this squad, good, bad, and ugly. And when this team shows up 2 out of the 3 weeks with complete duds, we're going to rip it apart, and we're going to look at it under a microscope.
Yeah. Yeah, which everybody should be doing.
Okay.
Listen, we understand geographically, yes, New York is blue. We have more fans now. We attend the games. We get that. When it comes down to it, they beat the crap out of us. You
cannot lie. You cannot lie about this.
You can't sit there
25-11,
and say
dude.
You suck. You really can't say they beat us. Guys, they've beat us. And it's okay to still have your fandom. I love this team, and I will forever think New York City is blue because, listen, they don't play in New York City. They've never played in New York City. They don't have roots in New York City, so they're not New York City's team. Fine, I understand that. But when they play us, they've beaten the crap out of us.
That's it.
So until we start winning, the banter about this, that, and the other thing, it's really when it comes, it's the wins and losses that mean it. It's the wins and losses that mean it. Trust me, if we win a cup before they do, we can forever speak. We can forever talk about that. That will be our forever point. But you got to realize that this team has beaten the crap out of us when they win. It's not even close.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. Like, I'm not, like, you can hate all you want. It's fine. I'm just telling the truth right now. The truth is that this team has a lot of issues that go unresolved year after year because they're masked by either you're bringing players in who do nice things, but when you've played 3 years and you've lost games the same exact way every time, you haven't learned anything. And it's damning come playoff time. Look at Columbus last year with that 4-1. That 4-1 win was huge from Columbus. One less goal from them, and it was a different story.
Oh, but dude, that was one game. That was
not
one game, dude.
It's been 3 years, and all these games are all lost the same way. So it's not just one game. What's our record against Red Bull?
Yeah.
The score line you put out, 25-11. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And it pains me to say this because I don't want to say it. I don't want to chalk it up and say this is the truth, but it is. This is a problem. These games need to be – listen, and honestly, if we lost to them 3 times this year and finished up way above them in the table and got to the cup, I understand it's fine. But when it comes to team versus team, they have our number. They have our number. And until we put a 4 spot up on them, or a 3-0 victory, or a 5-0 victory, or hell, a 7-0 victory, we really can't talk too much.
Yeah.
Now we're grasping at straws. Every time they beat us, it's like one less thing we could use against them.
Oh yeah, dude, we're just giving them more and more ammo. I mean that's all we're
come
doing.
on.
My whole thing is people that are
And it's not our
commenting
fault.
about. My whole thing is people that are commenting about reading an opinion piece that major things need to be looked at and scrutinized under this team. It's like, okay, it's only one game. You can't base this entire thing. It's like, well, it's really been 2 in the last month, and really we kind of stole some points earlier in the season in some matches, if you ask me. But why this team? Why this team in freaking New Jersey that has our number? We cannot deny it. They've outscored us. They've outplayed us. They've outmanned us. They've out-physicaled?
They out-physicaled us.
They've out-physicaled us.
Cough, please.
So let's call a spade here. It's on paper. There's no mistaking it, guys. So if you haven't read the op-ed piece, head over to dudesinblue.com. You can find it on our Facebook page and on our Twitter, but you just go to dudesinblue.com and check that out. Anthony Merced wrote that. Make sure to give him a follow because he's been putting up some really good stuff, and we're really thankful to him for doing that. Dude, I'm sorry. I'm for all of you, this my throat is killing me, dude. So, guys, we're going to be here, win, lose, or draw, Monday night, 8 p.m. for episode 103. The first time we're facing off against LAFC. This has got to stop rhyming.
You're like Dr. Seuss right now.
I know. So, guys, make sure to give us the follow, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're at Dudes in Blue. We appreciate all the reviews that you guys have been leaving. Make sure to leave us a review. What's so funny over there?
It's like, just Dr. Seuss. You got 1 fish, 2 fish, red Gatorade, blue Gatorade.
Yeah. Well, you all can. I'll tell you where to put it because I feel like crap. Leave me alone.
Sunday's game, it's got problems written all over it. You've got that travel to the West Coast that we always complain about, and it always gives us problems. So I'm curious to see if they lose this game, what the excuse is going to be come Monday. But we'll see.
Yeah, we shall see. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us this Monday night. And if you're listening on the podcast, leave us a review on iTunes. And even if you're watching and you want to leave us a review on iTunes, it's awesome because it helps more people like you find us on that platform. So we really appreciate you guys hanging out with us for episode 102. But until next time, stay blue.
Stay blue.
And we are blue.